All right, and we are streaming. You know
Yeah.
what? I'm going to go ahead and just record video too, just to have it.
As they would say here in the South, I reckon that's a good idea.
That's a good idea. All
Mm-hmm.
right, let
I'm not even going to
everybody.
try to do the sling blade thing because it'll hurt my throat.
hmm Where you going with all that wash?
Wash.
I don't hear from old Billy Bob Thornton anymore these days.
Mm-mm. Did
What
he do
he?
something to get canceled, or is he just not really acting
I
anymore?
think he just was just like, I made my money, and now I'm gonna go just be live life, I guess, which is what I
That's
would
the
do
way to.
too. Yeah.
That's the way to do it, honestly. All right, stream looks good on my end.
Joey Image in the
Good
chat room.
evening, Joseph.
Good evening. All right, everybody should be in here in just a minute. We can go ahead and get this thing started. I've already got all my tabs open and everything's good to go.
Yep, I'm
Are
all set
we
too.
ready to roll? Here we go. Three, two, one. Greetings, programs, and we're back for another episode of the Nerd Cave Retro Show. My name is Jason Robbins.
And my name is Derek Diamond.
So, how was your weekend?
Not too bad. Didn't have to work, surprisingly, which was nice.
Awesome.
Saturday we had my twin nephews. Their birthday was a couple of weeks ago, but we had their party on Saturday. So did some family stuff Saturday, and then Sunday we had the table read for Plain Jane, which is my wife's film that she wrote and will be directing. We're going to be shooting it in a couple of months. So, and I know you know how it is too with Monsters Anonymous and Survey. When you get the table read together,
Yeah.
that's when it really starts to become real.
Yeah. That's the coolest part whenever you get to sit down and do the table read and you kind of, it all starts to come together at that point.
Yeah, and we were sitting there, and I looked at Samantha, and we were both like, "They're all really good." Like we were really like not that we were expecting them to be bad by any stretch, but I like to go in with really no expectations. That way, you're not really disappointed if something sucks. But they were really good, so I'm really excited about this project coming up here in the next couple of months.
Speaking of Survey, I was thinking the other day, I need to get a hold of Steve and see when he's going to release that thing to the public. Like, at what point is it going to be
Just
released for public consumption?
just show up at his house and shake him down like, "Where's Survey?"
Yeah, because I mean, he was like, I'm going to put it out online after the festival run. Well, the festival run has been over with, so it's time to put Survey out there for the public to be able to see it.
I know, and then people can see why it won so many awards and got into so many festivals because there
Yeah.
was a stretch where it was like every day
Yeah.
he was putting out, like a different festival exception. I remember telling Steve, I'm like, y'all are going to make it to 50. And he's like,
Yeah.
there's no way it's going to happen. Well, sure enough,
hmm
we made it to 50.
50 freaking festivals is insane.
And I mean, it's a really good short. So I feel like it should be out there for everybody to see.
And we should be making a full length at this point. I need to get with Steve and be like, hey, why are we not pitching this thing? We have the perfect pitching movie to take to the
Yeah.
studios and say, hey, let's make this into a full length movie.
If that happens, I'll even grow my hair back out and I'll grab the boom mic again.
See, because I'm going to be sitting in Furiosa this weekend going, see, we could have done that.
That movie looks so
I
good.
know. Oh, I can't wait. That's
Yeah,
my birthday present this weekend is going to see Furiosa.
that's a good birthday present.
I can't wait.
So I know you have, but I want to ask you so that the public can hear it. Did you watch the finale for X-Men 97?
Of course I did.
Woo!
Yeah, they better come with another season because leaving it like
Oh, they
that
are.
is-
They are.
I was about to say they better not cancel it because if they cancel it, I'm gonna burn Disney to the ground.
What's worse than ending it on the cliffhanger it originally did in the 90s? Bringing it back just to end it on another
Yeah,
cliffhanger.
that'd be that would
That'd be,
happen.
that'd be so evil. But no, that show is a masterpiece.
Oh,
I know it's an
easily.
animated show and some people will look down on it, but it honestly, to me, is the best thing that Marvel's put out since Endgame.
Agreed. 100%. If you haven't watched it, you need to go watch it now. Like it's the best thing since Infinity War. Well, not Infinity War, but what was the
Endgame.
Endgame? Yeah, it's the best thing since Endgame, hands down.
Yeah, for sure. There's some Marvel stuff coming out that I'm excited for. It's just actually for the first time in a while. Got our tickets to Deadpool and
Hmm.
Wolverine, so we'll be going opening night to that. Um, what else? The Daredevil show
Hmm.
is coming out soon, which I'm really excited for. So there's a couple of Marvel things that you know
Yeah, maybe they
I'm
can
looking
get.
forward to.
I'm hoping they get back on track. I really do. You know what
I
I
do
did
also.
watch, and I really very much enjoyed over the weekend. I watched Godzilla X Kong over the weekend. It's the stupidest movie on planet Earth, but it is so enjoyable.
That's what those movies are to me. I mentioned it last week, but I kind of went through a little Godzilla binge. There's no, not everything has to be a cinematic masterpiece. Like those movies are just two giant creatures beating the you know what out of other giant creatures. That's all I need from it.
Yeah, it's the dumbest storyline you could. I mean, it's AI could come up with that storyline. It's so just dumb, but it's visually it's insane. I mean, Kong gets a mechanical infinity gauntlet in the movie.
I
Like you
saw
can't
that.
ask for anything better than that.
I haven't seen the movie, but I have seen the clip of eventually when Godzilla and Kong do fight. Godzilla gives him a freaking suplex.
Yeah,
I'm like,
that's.
how can you do that with your tiny
I
arms?
know when I saw that, I was like, I hope Derek has seen this because this is ridiculous.
I love it though. I
It's
haven't seen
so
the full
good.
movie, but I'm looking forward to it.
But yeah, I'm all in on those Godzilla versus Kong movies. They're so dumb, but they're so awesome.
They're just pure popcorn fun and entertainment.
They're the Fast and Furious of the monster movies right now. They're just you just turn your brain off and just watch stupid stuff happen
Yep.
on the screen.
You
It's
just
so
shut
awesome.
your brain off and enjoy the ride.
But on that note, it's time to go into the news. What do you say?
Sure.
All of tonight's stories were submitted to us by Mr. Armez Jackson. And if you have a news story you'd like us to cover, send them to nerdcaveretro at gmail.com. And the first story comes from mynintendonews.com. 3 Game Boy games available for Switch Online members. Nintendo has been very active with the Nintendo Switch Online plus expansion pack retro libraries lately. Let's see. Nintendo has officially announced some more additions. Super Mario Land, Alleyway, and Baseball are now available for Nintendo Switch Online members. All of them can be found in the Game Boy Retro Game Library, and that's I I I know what Super Mario Land is. I've never really heard of Alleyway, but it looks like a Breakout clone. And Baseball, I guess is just a port of the original, just straight baseball game, black box game from the Nintendo. I'm assuming.
Yeah, you're pretty much correct on that. That first sentence is interesting to me, where it says Nintendo has been very active with the Switch Online and
That's
expansion pack.
subjective.
It's like if you sit around all day and then you get up and walk to the fridge, compared to what you've been doing all day,
Yeah.
that's really active. So that's kind of what I compare it to. I'm honestly a little surprised that Super Mario Land wasn't on the Switch Online shop anyway.
I know. You would think that would have been one of the very first things they put on there.
But I'm glad they added it. I would have liked to have seen a couple of more because this is for I believe it's the 35th anniversary of the Game Boy is this year. So
Hmm.
I would have liked to have seen maybe a total of 5 and then maybe you put out some more in a couple of months. But it's better than nothing. I've never played Alleyway or Baseball, but I do like Super Mario Land. The sequels are much better, but I've used this comparison before. It's like comparing the original Super Mario Brothers to 2 and 3.
Yeah.
One had to exist for 2 and 3 to be great.
You know, for being a 35th anniversary, they should have released 35 games for the Game Boy online.
Well, see, that makes too much sense. So that's obviously not going to happen.
This is why we need to be working for Nintendo. Nintendo, just hire us to take care of all the Nintendo Switch Online stuff. We'll take care of it for you. Just, let us just do it.
They wouldn't like if I did it because I'd just put everything out at one time.
Hey, everybody, all 1,200 Nintendo games just dropped on Nintendo Switch Online.
But, man, that first 24 hours, the money coming in would be amazing. Let's see. Our next story comes to us from NintendoLife.com. Save up to 75% on eShop Indie Hits and Humble Games Anniversary Sale in North America. Publisher Humble Games has launched a special eShop sale in North America to mark the company's 4th anniversary. The sale got underway earlier this week and will be sticking around until, actually, the 20th of May. So if you're watching live, that's today. So definitely go check that out. Bringing discounts of up to 75% off dozens of Humble titles. Some big indie names are seeing a tasty price cut here, including the likes of Slay the Spire and Unpacking. But there is much more to take in besides, with the sale encompassing Pokemon likes, chilling survival horrors, and role-playing rhythm games, to name a few. They can be found on the North American eShop. And there's a list below, I believe, that includes A Hat in Time, both the standard and the Ultimate Edition, Chinatown Detective Agency, Crying Sons, Dodgeball Academia, Flynn, Son of Crimson, Ghost Song, Infinite Guitars, Moonscars, One Step from Eden, Ring of Pain, Slay the Spire, and quite a few more. So the list is pretty extensive. So if you're an indie game fan and you either see this live or immediately when the show drops, head on over to the eShop.
Joey pointed out I have the wrong thing up. Shoot. Let me pause the audio real quick. We'll be right back, everybody. I had the wrong thing up. It was still from the other day.
It's all good.
Where is it? I got to put the right one up with your @name on it. Hold on. I'm going to have to go find it. I must have replaced it by accident.
Is this my pink slip?
Yeah. Got a new, hold on. Where is it? Is this it? This should be it right here. Yep, that's it. Here we go. All right, we fixed it now. Thanks, Joey. All right, we're back. Sorry, everybody. We had to fix the overlay on YouTube because it still said Demonicron from my... Actually, that's good to bring up because I did a interview last week with Ash Nichols of the new Demonicron, Lady Death Demonicron game that if you guys haven't listened to, please go check out that episode. It dropped last Friday. It's a bonus episode that we did right here.
Yep, absolutely. But yeah, I was before we paused, I was just saying, there's quite a few list of titles here. So if you're an indie game fan, definitely go check this out because the sale ends here in just a couple of hours.
Yeah, that's a lot of titles on sale. So sorry, we're just now getting to this. I didn't even know this was a thing. And also from NintendoLife.com, what is Egg Console? The Switch has been a boon for retro gaming enthusiasts for a while now. Hamster's huge Arcade Archive series has felt right at home on the console. But late last year, a new retro re-release series entered the fray. Egg Console is a series of Japanese home computer games that are being ported to Switch by retro specialist D4 Enterprise. This oft-forgotten generation of games is often hard to get your hands on nowadays without a PC, and to see them slowly make their way to the Switch has been pretty exciting. Let's see, starting with
Relics back in October 2023, the Egg console series has been slowly making its way through PC-88 greats, from a bevy of Falcom classics to action RPG originators. There's an ever-growing library of games being added to the Switch. Let's see. Here's some of the games that they have on here. Let's see. Dragon Slayer 4, Hide Lied 1, 2, and 3. I played the original Hide Lied for the NES. It's been a long time, though. Let's see. Sylpheed. Some of our listeners love that game. Xanadu. Ease, or Wise, however you pronounce it, is a couple of different Wise game, or Ease, however you pronounce it. But there's a lot of cool stuff. I have never heard of the Egg console before. Have you?
No, but I like it just for the name alone.
Yeah.
I feel like it should be like a weapon Robotnik uses in one of the Sonic games.
Let's see. As mentioned, Project Egg is the emulation service that started it all. Launched in November 2001. Initially managed by BoffTech before being handed to D4 Enterprise. Over 1,000 games across 21 different platforms are available to play through the service, and you can access them all from the website.
Yeah, I'm looking at the website now, and this is a busy website.
Yeah, it is.
This is like picture vomit.
You
can translate it.
Egg console games are $6.49 each in the U.S. £6, I guess, or whatever you guys are space money you guys are using in Europe right now. And what is GBP? What is that? What currency is GBP?
I'm not sure, actually.
I don't know what that is.
But yeah, there's a lot of stuff on this website. It's amusement-center.com/project/egg. So you can see what all they have. There's a lot.
Interesting.
So chances are you'll find something that tickles your fancy.
Oh, yeah.
And our last story comes from where else but NintendoLife.com. Taito Milestones 3 coming in winter of 2024, first batch of games revealed. Last year, it was revealed that Taito Milestones 3 was on the way to Switch, and now it's been confirmed it will be arriving locally on the eShop in winter 2024. The third retro collection will feature over 7 classic Taito games between the late 1980s and early 90s. Hamster Corporation, known for its work on the Arcade Archive series, which of course we just mentioned, has once again teamed up with Taito for this release, which will include Bubble Bobble, Rainbow Islands, The Story of Bubble Bobble 2, The Rastan Saga, Kadash, Champion Wrestler, Runark, and Thunder Fox, which kind of sounds like a spinoff of Star Fox.
Yeah. I've heard, of course, I know what Bubble Bobble 1 and 2 are. Great games, awesome games. Rastan, I've heard of. I never played those, but Kadash, Champion Wrestler, Runark, and Thunder Fox are new to me, so I might get this just to see what those are.
Yeah, and there's a good variety of genres, too. So Thunder Fox is a run and gun. Runark is a beat-em-up. Champion Wrestler, of course, is a wrestling game. Kadash is it's a co-op RPG. And then the Rastan Saga is a platformer.
Joey says Rastan is good, so might have to check that out.
Yeah, I do like a good platformer.
And Taito always put out great. I mean, most of their games have held up pretty well over the years for the NES. I mean, you could make a case Bad Dudes is a little iffy these days, but it's still fun to play. But other than that, Taito has always been a really good developer back in those days.
Yeah, I'm curious enough about these titles that I think I would actually pick this up. And Bubble Bobble, like you said,
oh yeah,
those are great games.
Love Bubble Bobble.
Oh yeah.
Now it is time for this month in video game history. May 5th of 1992, SNK releases King of the Monsters 2 for the arcade.
My memory of King of the Monsters is seeing it constantly on the Nick Arcade game show that I watched as a kid. Because they had a portion of the show where you would actually play various games to try and beat like a certain score or last, a certain amount of time. King of the Monsters was one that was constantly featured. So
This
I'm not really surprised that there's a sequel.
says this was
But
ported to the Super Nintendo and the Sega Genesis, so we might have to do a review of this.
Okay. We should do because have we reviewed King of the Monsters?
I don't think we have.
Could maybe do a back to back. Like you review one and I'll review two or vice versa.
I'm for that.
Yeah. Be something a little different.
Yeah.
Let's see. Next up, May 10th of 1999, Super Mario Brothers Deluxe is released for the Game Boy Color in North America. I might be in the minority of saying this, but this is my favorite way to play the original Super Mario Brothers.
I don't know if I've played this version of it.
So it's the only real difference is it has a like overworld map, which is actually really cool, and there are these special coins that you can collect throughout each stage, and you get to win different prizes and things like that.
Yeah.
So it actually adds a little something different to the to that game, and it also has the lost levels as an unlockable
Huh.
in the game too.
So it's got an overworld kind of like Super Mario Brothers 3.
Yeah, basically.
I'll have to check
It
this
adds-
out. I don't. I'm.
It adds a nice little dynamic to it.
Why is this not on the Game Boy, on Switch Online?
You got me. I have I have no idea.
Come on, Nintendo, wake up. Let's see. May 22nd of 2000, Rare releases Perfect Dark for the Nintendo 64 in North America. Here's another game that I'm just like, why have they not made either a sequel to this or a remake or something to do in this just something in this the Perfect Dark universe? Like this was this was a major game back then.
Yeah, it's one of Rare's best games that they ever made. Whenever I looked this up, my first thought was back to that Patreon episode we did where we were pitching different shows based off of games. Perfect Dark would make an amazing series or a movie.
Because I agree with that.
You think, a big thing now is having a strong female protagonist. And I think Joanna Dark would be a really cool character to adapt in real life.
And, I think this game did really well. I mean, I don't understand why it never got a sequel. I mean, I understand that, Rare and Nintendo kind of split up, but Nintendo still owns the property, I would think.
So there was a prequel released for the Xbox 360, I think, called Perfect Dark Zero.
I do remember that.
I never played it, so I couldn't tell you if it was good or not. I never really heard that much about it.
I didn't either. I mean, I remember now that you say something about it, I remember there was that, but I never played it, and I don't know anybody that did.
Yeah, let's see here. Perfect Dark Zero was released as a launch title for the Xbox 360 in 2005.
And it says a remaster of this game, also titled Perfect Dark, was released in 2010 for the Xbox 360 through its Xbox Live Arcade download service. It says received generally
I agree with
favorable.
Joey also. GoldenEye would make a great movie too.
Yeah, it would, wouldn't it?
Just adapt the game and you got a good movie.
It said it was everybody. I mean, it got good reviews. I don't know why it wasn't bigger than it was.
I truly think that Rare being purchased by Microsoft is one of the worst moves that's happened in the history of gaming.
I'll agree. Yeah.
Because I mean, it's one of the best partnerships ever. And I know I'm a little biased because I grew up with those games from the 90s, but you look at the list it speaks for itself.
Yeah, because you imagine if Rare had been just bought by Nintendo instead of Microsoft, then the games we could have had up until this point, just on Nintendo consoles.
I truly think that had Rare stuck with Nintendo, we'd still be getting Banjo-Kazooie games. They evolve obviously, but you'd get another Perfect Dark and maybe even a new franchise. Because I know Rare tried new things with Microsoft, but nothing really caught on,
Yeah.
which is
Well.
unfortunate. Rampage
Rampage in the chat
is
room.
in the chat. And finally, May 24th of 2004, Mario vs. Donkey Kong is released for the Game Boy Advance in North America. I never played any of these games. I did really love Donkey Kong 94 for the original Game Boy.
Mhm.
And I know it copies some of that model, if you will, with the addition of, like the little Mario statues that you use, but I never got around to playing them for some reason.
Huh. This has been re-released. It was re-released for the Nintendo Switch in February. I think I remember that. But I
They'll
never
do
played
that,
it.
but they won't make a sequel to Earthbound or anything like that. But
Of course not. You're talking
That's a
crazy.
whole separate discussion,
You're crazy talk.
right?
When in the chat, Joey says, "When is Jay Funktastic or Derek gonna produce Booger Man, a pick and flick action movie? The movie? Hey, I'm for it.
That's a great tagline.
I mean, if somebody in Hollywood wants to write me a $50 million check, I will definitely go make the Booger Man movie."
That would have been like the perfect, like straight to TV movie back in like 1998.
Oh yeah,
You know what it would be like? It would be like Mystery Men,
yeah.
just with more sick humor.
Yeah, I would make that now. I would definitely do that.
Good throwback movie.
And I would have
I'd do it.
Ryan Gosling as Booger Man.
Oh, that'd be great.
Before we go into our review tonight, Derek, would you like to do our Patreon shout-outs?
Sure. As always, we like to shout out our awesome patrons over at patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. We want to shout out Brian Piotrowski, Nick W., Eld the Zombie, Yup Fed, aka Knife, James, aka at Jimbo Jr. on our Discord, Raven, Danny House, Justin Nispel, John West, Daniel Salmon, Mr. B-Res Coffee himself, Mike Eveland, and happy belated birthday to B-Res Coffee, by the way. Tyler Watson, Axblade07, Armez Jackson, Carlos Longoria, a.k.a. I am the Rampage, Staff Sergeant Sketch, Gus and Penny, Matthew Salmon, Mr. Joey Image, and of course,
Mama Diamond.
Donna Diamond. Thank you all so much for your continued contributions and keeping the lights on for us here at the Nerd Cave Retro Podcast. For as little as $1 a month, I opened my wallet today, and somewhere between all the moths that flew out of it, I found a nice dollar bill. So you can find $1 pretty much anywhere.
Yeah.
Yeah, just for that, you get your own RSS feed, your custom RSS feed. If you're a podcaster or a podcasting fan, that's a great gift to get for yourself. And it has no ads. So if you want to hear us talk uninterrupted, then I know there's some fun stuff going on in the chat. But yeah, you get your own RSS feed with no ads, and you get early access to our monthly bonus episode, which for the most part includes a commentary track that we've done for animated shows like Gargoyles, Darkwing Duck, Tailspin, Real Ghostbusters, full-length movies like Batman 89, Clue, Transformers the movie. The list is near endless on what we've done. So if you want to be a part of our awesome Patreon community, just head over to patreon.com/nerdcaveretro. And I do want to make a quick correction before I close this out. Instead of I am the Rampage, it's I am Scooter McGee.
Doesn't quite roll off the tongue the same, but we'll do it
No.
from now on.
Rampage is like it just flows out of here. It's like butter.
Yeah.
But for new patrons, send us your social media info, whether it's Twitter, Facebook, or Instagram, so we can give you a proper shout out.
And tonight we're going to be talking about
I love this game. And that's
I
my
love it.
rgood Good
All
night.
right.
No, I'm,
Good
I'm
night,
kidding.
everybody.
No, I'm kidding. Yeah, so I've been really excited to talk about this game for a while, and that would be Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door, which is a 2004 role-playing game developed by Intelligent Systems and published by Nintendo for the GameCube. And I know we talk about what classifies as retro, and we have a general consensus that it's 20 years. We're technically, if you go down to the day and date, we're a little short on the 20-year release of this, but the remake comes out this week. So I thought, what better time to talk about the original than this week? So I can't believe that I haven't reviewed this already, because it truly is one of the best Mario games. Like, it's up there with Mario RPG in my opinion, and I'm going to explain why. So this is one of the games that I still have my original copy that I bought back in 2004. So I didn't have to get a ROM or anything. I got to have the full experience by playing it on the GameCube. So I was really excited to go back and play this game because I had some fond memories of it, but I haven't played it in at least a decade. And it has much more to offer than what you might think from a Mario game. And you can't really think of too many terrible Mario games. At least I can't. But what makes this game so good is that it has everything that I look for in a game. A great story, and it's actually told over a pretty lengthy period of time. So you have plenty of time to, of course, get to know more about Mario and Peach, but you also get introduced to new characters that are added to your party throughout the game. And what's cool is that there are portions of the game where you can play as both Peach and Bowser. So
Oh,
the way
really?
the game works, so the game is divided into different chapters. And what you have to do is you find these crystal stars that will help you rescue Peach from the X-Nauts, which is an alien race that's wanting to um, open up the Thousand Year Door, which is beneath this city called Rogueport. So, like Mario RPG, you're going around to these different areas. You know, you go through each area, you fight a boss, you get a star, you rinse and repeat. But what's different, and they did this a little bit in the original Paper Mario, because you would have these segments where you would play as Peach while she was being held captive by Bowser, and you'd find a way to, get messages to Mario or try to kind of derail Bowser a little bit. And you do that in a way, but the thing is, Bowser isn't the primary antagonist of the game. It's the X-Nauts, these aliens. But and this is why I think Bowser's the best part of this game. Bowser finds out about the crystal stars and follows Mario around. But by the time he gets to the area where the star is, they're already gone. Because he's always one step behind Mario. And what's cool is that through some of what's called the Peach and Bowser portions are basically called intermissions, because the game is told like a book through chapters. With Bowser, you get to go through recreations of some of the classic Mario stages. But instead of Super Mario Brothers, it's called Super Bowser Brothers. So you play through like a condensed version of the very first stage from Super Mario Brothers, and it's got kind of like a rock remix of that Mario theme song.
Yeah.
And you find when you get a power up, instead of a mushroom, it's just giant slab of meat. Bowser gets so big that he takes up the whole screen, which is
Wow.
hilarious because Bowser's very comical. Like he's still evil, but he's
Mhm.
comical in a way. So anything with Bowser, even though it's not a big part of the game at all, it's so funny. And that carries on into the Mario and Luigi games for the DS. To me, that style of humor started with this game specifically.
And how many Paper Mario games have there been to this point? Just Paper Mario and Paper Mario Thousand Year Door?
So there was one for the Wii called Super Paper Mario, but it wasn't an RPG like the first two.
Because that's
It
the
was
only one I think I've played before. I
That
didn't play
one's more
much
of
of
a
it.
platformer.
Yeah, I do remember that. I played it. It reminded me of a platformer.
And I can look this up real quick, but I want to say there's four total Paper Mario games.
It says here Paper Mario Sticker Star.
Okay, so
Uh,
there's six. So there's Paper Mario, Paper Mario the Thousand Year Door, Super Paper Mario, Sticker Star, Color Splash, and the Origami King.
okay, I do remember the Origami King. I do remember
Hmm.
that, but I don't. I've never heard of Sticker Star or Color Splash.
I've only played the first three Paper Mario games, and Super Paper Mario was pretty good, but I think that Paper World is best suited for the RPG side of things. Like if I
Mhm.
want to play a Mario platformer, I'm just going to play one of the old games or New Super Mario Brothers.
And how does the graphics hold up? Because everything I've seen, I have played so far on my old GameCube, everything still looks great on the GameCube.
Well, and I put this in my notes too. I think the style of the game that it is, with everything literally being made out of paper, it really plays into that stuff because it to me it's a timeless style.
Yeah.
Like we talk about, with what Nintendo did with Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom. It's kind of that hybrid animation slash live action that's going to hold up much more than like a Twilight Princess. These games will always hold up because of the art style. Because even like the GameCube didn't have the polygon issues that the N64 had.
Yeah.
So I personally think the graphics still hold up. And I think the remake looks great because it's going to be in HD and it's going to be much more vibrant.
I
But even
personally think that the look of GameCube games have held up way better than the original Xbox and the PS2.
100% agree. And this, I think, is a great testament to that. Which you could even look at like a Luigi's Mansion or Smash Brothers Melee, like the games that came out early GameCube days.
Mhm.
Their graphics still look pretty good.
Yeah.
Like they're not terrible at all.
I mean, I
But
just feel like the GameCube just deserved better than what it got. It just, I think it was a victim of, at the time, it was gamers who were, like me, who grew up with Nintendo. We were growing out of Nintendo at that time. And I think I'm kind of glad Nintendo had stayed the course and didn't try to become like you looked at something like the Xbox or PS2, like they were more media machines than just a gaming console. But Nintendo has always stuck to the thing of being, we are a gaming console. We're not trying to play Blu-rays and DVDs and be an entertainment center. Like, this is just for games. And we slept on it. We slept on a great console at the time.
No, I totally agree. I'm with you 100% in that I think the GameCube's biggest issue was the timing that it came out.
Hmm.
Because, see, it was in 2001, so I would have been 15 when it came out. So you got the PS2, you had the Xbox just come out, Halo looked awesome. But with Nintendo, it was just kind of the same old thing. So I think we were just looking for something a little different. I still had my GameCube, and still loved it, but I know there's a lot of people that grew out of Nintendo. But
Yeah.
I think now we're realizing that the GameCube was actually a great console. It had
Yeah.
some really good games.
I'm glad glad I have one. I mean, I had one back then, but I was way more into the Xbox, PS2. But, you know, and I got rid of it at one point. I wish I didn't because I had all the games for it. I had, you know, the Metroid games. I had Zelda, Wind Waker, had all the Star Wars games for it. And I sold it. And I think I may have sold it to buy an Xbox 360. You know, I think I traded it in to GameStop and they probably gave me like, you know, 75 cents for everything to put towards an
And a
Xbox
pack of Orbit
360.
gum.
Yeah, that, you know, 75 cents and this gum I have in my pocket is what I'll give you for it.
Yeah, but we're giving it the credit now that I think it deserves. It's something that I think might deter some people, and I'm one that I'm not really a fan of the turn-based combat style in RPGs because it can be kind of boring. But something they do with the combat in this game is really, really cool. All the battles, whether it's your standard enemy battle or a boss, all the fights take place on a stage.
Oh, that's
And
cool.
there's an audience of random characters that are watching. The better you do, the more characters come in, they'll cheer you on. Every now and then they might throw you like a mushroom or some kind of item to help you.
That's interesting.
Or if you're not doing well, they'll throw garbage at you and it will hurt you.
That's
So I'm like,
funny.
okay, this is it adds a clever little element to it that actually makes the combat enjoyable.
Yeah.
And what I love about the interaction too is during the first boss battle, you fight this giant red dragon called Hooktail. When you get him to where he's almost defeated, he'll actually eat half the audience and regain some of his HP. So I'm like, that's really kind of clever. I mean, yeah, it's kind of morbid to think, you know, that a dragon's eating like toads and
Yeah.
all these other kinds of characters, but it just makes what's usually a boring kind of fighting style pretty enjoyable.
But see, I don't nowadays. I don't mind the turn-based fighting. I really don't, especially after some of the games I've played over the last few years. You know, of course, Sea of Stars really got me to love that gameplay style, and I think I'm more forgiving of it now than I used to be. Because I used to be, I just wanted to play. Like I don't want to stop the action. Just let me play. But now that I'm kind of like I like that. I like for everything to stop and just have to think about what you're gonna do.
I think it depends on how you do it too. So to use like the Mario and Luigi games for the DS and later the 3DS, that game is turn based, but it has cool like animations with it, and you actually see the attacks happen. My one gripe with Earthbound is its battle system is boring as you know what, because you're just looking at a static shot of whatever enemy you're fighting with a moving background, and when you hit them, it just the character flashes for a second. So
Yeah.
that's kind of where I was introduced to the turn-based combat system. So
You ever
I didn't have a great first impression of it.
you ever wonder why they have never made a Zelda Legend of Zelda game in this style, like a true RPG turn-based combat style game? I think it would really work if you did it like Link to the Past, like that art style, but do it in a true turn-based RPG fashion.
It's the perfect series to try it.
See, Nintendo,
So I
why
think it would
are-
actually be.
Why are you not paying us for these ideas? Come on now, give us our check.
Just send us a check, preferably blank, so we can write whatever we want on it.
Yeah, exactly. I would play that in a heartbeat.
Oh, I would too. And Zelda would really work
Mhm.
under that because of the setting, because of everything. involved with, especially if you did it in the style of Link to the Past, like you said. I think that'd be perfect.
Or they did a mashup where they do with Super Mario and Legend of Zelda, like Link and Mario team up, and then Peach comes along and Zelda herself comes along, and you have to fight. What's the guy's name in Link to the Past? Shahrazad, whatever his name was.
The wizard guy?
Yeah.
Oh, Aghanim.
Well, there's Aghanim, and then there's the other guy. Something else. Another Link bad guy I'm thinking of.
Was he in Link to the
I
Past?
think so. And my brain is mashing everything up.
There's,
but I do remember.
There's
Aghanim.
Vati the Wind God in Four Swords.
Because I played so many of those old Zelda games
Yeah.
over the last couple of years. They're starting to bleed together now.
With Link to the Past, when you're in the light world, you fight Aghanim.
Yeah.
And whenever you beat him, he transports you to the dark world, and that's eventually where you fight Ganon.
Okay. Because I thought you fought him again in the dark world.
You do, because Ganon's spirit comes out of him. You fight him at Ganon's tower. Because remember, you have to fight all the bosses again.
Yeah. But I mean, all that aside, I would play the hell out of an RPG like that, like a turn-based RPG that you put Mario and Link in there, and Peach and Zelda, and just what if Bowser and Aghanim, or Bowser and Ganon team up? Like, how awesome would that be?
Oh, Joey says the person you're thinking of is Hulk Hogan.
Yeah. Hulk Hogan all of a sudden shows up in a Mario RPG game.
What you gonna do, Mario, when Hulkamania runs wild on you? It's the NWO version of Hulk Hogan, and he sides with Bowser.
Dude, I would play that too. That sounds awesome.
Oh, 100%. Yeah, absolutely. You got to enlist the aid of Macho Man Randy Savage.
Yeah. Ooh, yeah.
The cream of the crop. but another thing that I love too about getting back to Paper Mario: The Thousand-Year Door, there are some great characters. Some of my favorite in any Mario game. One of the bosses you fight, and Joey will get a kick out of this. There's a place you go called Glitzville, and there's the boss you fight his name is Rock Hawk, Rawk Hawk, and he's a wrestler, and he uses the crystal star to put on his belt, like his wrestling championship belt. Like stuff like that is just so freaking cool. Oh, he says it's a me, okay. That's great. But there are some cool characters.
I think we invented a whole new mashup series.
Oh, 100%. But there's all kinds of different characters that you can team up with too. Funny enough, some of them are primarily enemy characters, like Goombella, who's a Goomba. She's your first partner, so you can only have one partner actually fight with you. You can switch them pretty easily, but of course they all have different abilities, and you can upgrade them as the game progresses. And once you get the crystal stars, you get these star attacks where you can use like a healing power up, or you can use like an attack or raise your stats, something like that.
I'm not reading what just got
written. Yeah. Maybe on the after show.
Yeah.
We'll read it, but
Nerd Cave After Dark.
Let me get my bison smoking jacket first. But as far as the reception to this game, it was well received, with review aggregators Metacritic and Game Rankings giving the game an 87 out of 100 and 88 out of 100 respectively. Critics particularly praised the plot, stating that each chapter provides a thrill of discovery, while Eurogamer's Tom Bramwell welcomed the whimsical storyline in comparison to traditional role-playing games, commenting that it's something closer to Finding Nemo than Final Fantasy, which is very much a compliment. The game's characters were also well received, with reviewers complimenting the use of NPCs and text. Despite this, some commentators complain the story develops slowly in the game's beginning stages. It does a little bit, but I actually like the long form storytelling because the payoff is even better because of it, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But some of the scores, EGM gave it a 9 out of 10. Eurogamer gave it a 9 out of 10. GameSpot 9.2. IGN 9.1. Nintendo Life 8 stars out of 10. Nintendo World Report, the Japanese version got a 9.5 out
Wow.
of 10. So this is one of the most beloved GameCube games for sure. But I really think it's more of just one of the best Mario games,
And
in my opinion.
I'm looking at the actual MarioWiki.com for Paper Mario Thousand Year Door, and looking at all the screenshots. They have some gameplay gifs on here. This game looks amazing. Like, it looks so good.
I think you would really like it if you played it.
I
It's one of those that you're gonna have to sink some time into it to really get into the story, but I think it's worth it.
Let me just do a quick search on eBay to see what they're going for these days. Paper Mario Thousand.
I'm really
Door.
curious about this.
Let's
Waiting
see.
with bated breath.
Well, for the Switch, it's just coming out. It's full price $60 game. It's not bad. They have one here. It's a buy it now for the GameCube, $58.99. So basically the same as buying the new version. So that's not bad, actually. This might be a birthday present to myself to get a copy of this game.
I think you would really like it if you played it. And something that we touched on, I believe it was last week or it might have been the week before, how we could put Sonic in these different types of gameplays, like trying out.
Don't put
something
Sonic in
completely
here.
Yeah, add a special cameo by Sonic. I think
Yeah.
people would love that. I wish they would have done that in the Mario RPG remake.
Yeah.
Because in the original and in the remake, there are cameos from Link and Samus. If they had added Sonic, people would have lost their mind because no one would have expected
Can
it.
you imagine if there was a Paper Mario RPG game where Sonic shows up too? That'd be awesome.
You'd hear me scream from all the way in Mississippi. But something I think that is a testament to Mario, because I don't think anybody's going to question that he's the most recognizable video game character of all time. What is great about Mario is you can put him in really any type of game genre and it will work.
Yep.
From traditional platforming to RPGs. In some of the old black box sports games, he was the referee.
Yeah.
So you could really put him anywhere and it would work. And this is one of the best examples of that. One last thing, too, before I give my final score. Something I think that was really kind of meta for them to do. There are certain areas where you actually transform into like a paper airplane or a paper boat and float across water. That was so funny to me how they just really leaned into that paper
Yeah.
aspect of it. Like they totally owned it. And I thought it was great.
See, this is
Or you
why,
roll up into like a little tube and
Yeah.
go through like tight passageways.
This is why people still just love Nintendo games, because of the imagination that goes into them. And these games like this, I mean, tell me any Mario game that doesn't hold up.
You're right.
I mean,
You're
I
100%
can't
right.
really think of any. If there's any Mario, straight up Mario game, whether it be a Mario RPG or going back to the original, Super Mario Brothers on the NES, has there ever been a Mario game that just sucked? I don't think there is.
Some people will say Super Mario 2, but I don't allow that hearsay.
Joey was asking if Mario was the umpire in NES baseball. I don't remember.
I want to say he was. I know for sure he was the referee in the tennis game.
I know he was. He was the referee in Mike Tyson Punch Out. I think he was he didn't quite look like Mario, but I think that was supposed to be Mario in the original black box golf game for the NES.
Yeah. I just remember in the tennis game he sat in a little high chair
Yeah.
next to the net.
But yeah.
But
I'm really interested to play this. Like, I really, really want to. I want to play the original. I want to play the one on GameCube. So I think I'm going to go ahead and get myself. God, I got so much to play, but I want to get this for myself to play because I think
You
I
should.
would like it.
I think you really would too. And what might make you like it even more, I'm going to give this game a 9.5
Wow.
out of 10. It's really, really, really good. It's like I said, it has everything from great characters. It uses Peach and Bowser in a little bit of a different way that you haven't really seen in any of the other games. Because before then, when did you really get to play as Bowser besides him being on your team in the original Mario RPG? Like it's cool, just even though it's brief, to run through the original Mario stage
Yeah.
plus an underwater stage and Bowser's own castle as Bowser.
That's cool.
It's really cool. So I love this game. I can't say enough good stuff about it. I'm really excited to play the remake. I want to see how it holds up compared to the original. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get it day one because I've got a lot of stuff coming up, but
well,
eventually I am going to get it.
You got 3 days, so it comes out on the 23rd. So you got 3 days to get prepared.
Yeah. But yeah, those are my thoughts on Paper Mario: The Thousand Year Door. Amazing game.
Oh yeah,
I love it.
I'm very interested. You sold me on this game. I really want to play it.
Yes.
But next week we are not doing a review, but we're gonna do a top 5 list. It's time for May's top 5 list, and we decided to go with top 5 video game weapons, and that was a suggestion by Mr. Joey Image himself. So that's what we're gonna do next week. So your top 5 favorite video game weapons.
I've already made my list.
Oh, I know. We texted
Plus-
back and forth today what we were gonna do, and we decided to go with top 5 video game weapons. And literally, like 8 seconds later, Derek sends me back. He's like, "I got my list already." I'm like, "Golly!"
Well, I had it on my mind and I had a little bit of free time, so I'm like, why not just go ahead and do it?
Yeah.
I love this idea by Joey, a bad cop TV series where Ganon and Bowser are roommates in 1980s New York.
I would watch that.
I'd want to make that. That would be, I'd love that.
See,
That'd be so cool.
if somebody from Nintendo would just watch this show on YouTube and see that, between me, you, Joey, and Wally and our community, we could come up with some of the best ideas that Nintendo's ever had.
We could come up with content for the next 20 years easy.
That would be great.
Oh, I'd love that.
But yeah,
So
top 5 video game weapons, and you can email them to us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. I'll put up a post on Twitter and Facebook and Threads, and also if you're in our Discord, you can join our Discord. Just go to nerdcaveretro.com, click the Discord button. That'll take you right to our Discord to become a part of the community, and you can put your top 5 right in there because we got a little tab, a little board in there for top 5 submissions. So that's where we put our top 5s in the Discord chat.
Joey says their supervisor would be the good cop.
Yeah, that'd be Mario.
If you really wanted to just make it over the top silly, make their supervisor Mother Brain from Captain N.
Oh, and it has to be what we said it on that episode. What's the guy's name that did the voice of the Mother Brain?
I can't remember, but I think he's dead though, right?
Yeah, but you could have somebody do that voice. It was like Levi Stubbs or something like
I
that.
think so, yeah.
And
Not Mother Brain, just Mother Brain specifically from Captain N, the Game Master.
that voice, the voice of Audrey in Little Shop of Horrors, that voice would be awesome.
Yes.
I'm for it.
Just print money.
Yeah.
Just print it all.
And I want to remind everybody that the Embarrassingly Retro merchandise is now available in the merch store, ncrmerch.com. You can get it in a t-shirt. You can get it on a mug, on a hat, on something to hang on your wall. We got all kind of stuff in there, and it's a really cool design, so go check it out. ncrmerch.com. And before we leave tonight, Derek, I saw that you started teasing the return. Well, not the return of the Derek Diamond Experience, but the rebrand of Derek Diamond.
Yep. So everything has been rebranded from the Derek Diamond Experience to Real Wisdom. The social media handles, they're all the same across each platform, is at Real Wisdom Pod. I also rebranded the Linktree to linktree.com/Real Wisdom Pod. I don't know exactly when I'm going to be putting out episodes yet. It's probably going to be later on in the summer, just because of everything that's going on. But I'm going to be posting pretty consistently to kind of keep the name out there. So you can head over to linktree.com/Real Wisdom Pod. For those that are subscribed to the Derek Diamond Experience audio feed, you don't have to resubscribe because I just changed the name. So it'll just be sitting there, or you can check out the 400 episodes of the Derek Diamond Experience. You've got plenty to listen to until the show comes back.
And for the Open Micers podcast that I do with Mr. Jacob Craig, go check us out. Openmicers.com, at Open Micers on Twitter, Instagram, and Threads. Last week we talked with two amazing comedians from Lafayette, Ken Edwards and Will Merrill. Two of the funniest people. I mean, that was one of the episodes where I actually wasn't hurting from laughing in the episode. So please go check that one out. And then the week before that, we had an episode. We had a hostful episode between me and Jacob. And Jacob had developed a shrimp allergy. So what does he do? He eats all the shrimp, as you do when you develop a shrimp allergy. So that was an interesting hostful episode. I even talked about hitting myself in the eye with a drumstick. So that was a fun episode.
I love the little cartoon shrimp you threw on the thumbnail.
But please go check out the Open Micers podcast. But remember, this show here, this is a PG-13 show. Here, we'll let an S word slip out every once in a while. But if you're listening with the kids, the Open Micers is rated R. So keep that in mind.
And some episodes are a hard R.
Yeah, very, very, very. And that was one of them last week with Ken Edwards and Will Merrill. That was a hard R episode, so go be mindful when you got the kids in the car and you're listening to the episodes. But we keep it clean over here, but the Open Mic is a little bit different, so keep that in mind. But I think that's going to do it for this week. Is that everything?
I think so.
All right. Well, let me play our music here. And if you want to email us at nerdcaveretro@gmail.com. Nerdcaveretro.com is our link tree. That takes you everywhere you need to go. It takes you all our socials, our Patreon, our merch shop, and of course, like I said earlier, that Discord link. Go join our Discord and be a part of the community. And head over to ncrmerch.com. Get those t-shirts, those hats, those stickers, magnets, bags, mugs, whatever your nerdy little heart desires. And if you can't be a patron, you don't have enough money to get it, you're like, I'm broke. It's the end of the month, I'm broke. We understand. Times are tough. You can't help us out monetarily. Go leave us a review on all podcasting platforms. Leave a review or a 5-star rating, and we will thank you from the bottom of our hearts. Derek, please tell them what it's all about.
May the way of the hero lead to the Triforce.
Yes.
Oh, a fellow chucker, eh?
And that's an episode.
I love that clip so much.
Yeah, that Joey says the Open Micers theme song is rated X. It's pretty awful.
Yeah, that's very accurate.
Yeah, I'd love to change it, but it seems to be everybody enjoys it. So that's why we keep it.
I think it's too big of like a part of the show now for you guys to ever change it.
We still have that running bet going to see which guest is going to log off as soon as they hear that theme song. It's so embarrassing.
It's something.
I mean, I love it,
I'll say
but
that.
it's something.
Yeah.
But thank you all for hanging out with us. If you're in the chat room right now and you haven't subscribed to the channel, please hit the subscribe button and like the episode and all that good stuff. And we love every single one of you. Thanks for hanging out with us.